In the dim light of a 1765 Edinburgh salon, a young philosopher whispers a question that would shatter centuries of dogma. What is a man without his thoughts? Hume's voice, thin as fog, drifts into the corridors of history, promising to redraw the map of reason. The audience feels the pull of a mind that questions faith, tradition, and even the certainty of its own existence. Curiosity crackles in the air as we begin to unravel the paradox of a thinker who would claim that even the most noble ideas are nothing more than fleeting shadows of experience. Born on August 26, 1711, in Edinburgh's modest parish, Hume grew up amid the intellectual stirrings of the Scottish Enlightenment, where the scent of tobacco and ink mingled with the scent of debate. His early exposure to the works of Locke and Newton, coupled with the austere teachings of his father, a minister, forged a mind that would later reject metaphysical certainties in favor of empirical scrutiny. As he studied at the University of Glasgow, he scribbled notes on human perception, foreshadowing the radical skepticism that would define his career. In the vibrant intellectual salons of Edinburgh, and later the bustling cafes of London, Hume engaged with leading thinkers such as Adam Smith and the Royal Academies, debating the nature of human understanding over glasses of ale and sharp rhetoric. The political upheavals of the American Revolution, which he observed from afar, sharpened his belief that reason is not a tool of authority but a servant to human sentiment. By 1748, he had already published his first essays, challenging the notion that experience alone could account for knowledge, setting the stage for his most famous works. Published in 1748, Hume's An Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding lays bare his thesis that all ideas are derived from impressions, and that causation itself is nothing but habit, not a necessary connection of the mind. His audacious statement, "Reason is, and ought only to be the slave of the passions," sparked uproar in philosophical circles, yet it also forged a new path toward modern science and psychology. Historians note that this work would later influence philosophers like Kant, who credited Hume for awakening his own critical faculties. In 1751, Hume ventured into the realm of ethics, arguing that morality springs from sentiment rather than divine command, thereby humanizing virtue and empathy. He famously declared, "The great principle of morals is the sentiment of respect," a sentiment that would later inspire social contract theorists and moral psychologists alike. Contemporary readers recognize that Hume's work bridges the divide between rational inquiry and the effective core of human society. Hume's Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, published posthumously in 1779, presents a subtle yet piercing critique of the arguments for the existence of God, questioning the reliability of miracles and the nature of divine providence. He famously posits, "All the best proofs which have been offered in favor of the existence of God are, by their own nature, wholly unconvincing," a line that would rattle theologians for centuries. Yet his exploration of the human tendency to attribute meaning to coincidence offers a profound, enduring reflection on faith and doubt. David Hume's intellectual trail, left in the form of meticulously crafted essays, paved the way for Enlightenment thought and the empirical traditions of contemporary science. His skeptical lens influenced philosophers such as Descartes, Kant, and even modern cognitive scientists who trace the lineage of the self back to Hume's bundle theory. The world we inhabit, where data and perception rule, echoes the quiet insistence that every certainty must be tested against the empirical horizon. As the last candle guttered out in the study where Hume penned his final arguments, the silence that followed felt like a breath held across time, awaiting the next mind to ask, what is a man without his thoughts? His relentless questioning reminds us that even the most steadfast convictions are at heart a dialogue between reason and sentiment. The modern world, still tethered to the same fragile threads of experience, carries forward his legacy, a reminder that the most profound truths are those we uncover by turning inward with the courage to challenge what we think we know.